By far the worst part about Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn is the fact that I had to rewatch Suicide Squad to prepare for this movie. Nah, it's not good. Hello everyone, and I'm back to review another movie, and this time it is Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn. I have nailed that title at this point, and this movie is a whole lot of fun. I really enjoyed this movie. It is as crazy and wacky as you've heard. It is super over the top and fun and exciting with some excellent performances, and that's everything that you've already heard before, but I'm here to spout it all out again because I really did enjoy Birds of Prey, and Margot Robbie being a producer on this film as well as starring in it, getting Cathy Yan to direct the movie, it really came together to be a really fun experience. And you hear Margot Robbie talking about it in interviews and how she just wanted to make a kick-ass action movie that just happened to star an awesome cast of excellent female actresses, and they are all excellent in this movie, especially Margot Robbie. This is her show. She is in the title at the very end, but it is Harley Quinn's show, and it's all from her perspective and her weird way of telling her story. And this movie is kind of out of order for the first hour of the movie and is told in a non-linear way. And this is something I really did not expect from this movie, but I really enjoyed. You know, I was expecting the storytelling to be weird because I did hear that it is from her perspective, but it is very much from her perspective. She decides to tell you certain things about certain characters when she wants you to know about certain characters and what their backstories are. And the way that it reveals stuff in the first half of this movie is very interesting. I think the first half is definitely the stronger part of this movie, whereas the second half is more straightforward. It gets into the plot, gets into the finale. This movie also does really flesh out the character of Harley Quinn and showing why she is the way she is, besides just, you know, giving the smallest little pieces of backstory that Suicide Squad gave her. This movie gives probably the exact same amount of backstory of her, because we all know her origin story. You know, she was dating the Joker, now she's broken up with him, and this is her emancipation, along with all the other characters in this movie, getting away and really being on her own for the first time in pretty much ever is what she's really saying. And I love the line. It's the line in the trailer. It's like, do you know what a Harley Quinn is? Harley Quinn is only there to serve a master. And that is just... This movie does have a very strong, empowering message for women. I think it is very much given throughout this entire movie, and at times it is, you know, hitting you over the head with it. You know, it's very much, it's an over-the-top movie, but it earns that. It really does. Because of the movie has that tone throughout, it feels like it just is natural when they have moments like that. But for the most part, it's just a very entertaining comic book movie with very good action. I have to really give a shout out to Cathy Yan directing this movie. She did a fantastic job. So this is only the second feature film that she has directed, and my gosh, I am so ridiculously impressed. I know that this film went into reshoots to add more action. I think it was definitely worth it, because one scene in particular where she's robbing, I guess, the police station, or not really robbing it, but she's breaking to the police station to get to this certain character, and she has this weapon that's shooting out bean bags and shooting out glitter and all these just really, like, confetti and stuff like that, but it really hits and it's very powerful, and it's so ridiculously over the top. I can't stress this enough. This movie, what you saw from the trailers, that tone and that feel from both the trailers, the final trailer and I believe this is the second full trailer, that's exactly what this movie is. And if you didn't like the trailer and you thought it was a weird direction that they're going in, that's exactly what you're going to get. And so I was prepared for this. I was prepared for a super just ridiculous movie that has, you know, this just a very strange way of telling the story, like I said, and it's very awesome. I really liked the direction that they took with this movie, and all these side characters, all the rest of the cast, Black Canary, Huntress, and everybody else in this movie. Black Mask, played by Ewan McGregor, is awesome. I loved Ewan McGregor in this movie. He doesn't have much to do. He is very threatening in the times when he is, you know, getting his hands on doing the stuff himself and when he's killing people himself. But for the most part, he's sitting in his mansion, you know, telling people what to do because he can. And when he gets angry and he wants to take his anger on something and he does kill people, he does it because he can. And that's what I love about this character. He was also very over the top and flamboyant, just, you know, doing whatever he wanted to do. And he was eating up the scenery every second he had on screen. He was just chewing it up, having the most fun. And I feel like that is what this movie is. It's so fun, and I felt like filming it and making this movie was fun for everybody on the cast, everybody in the crew. It just seemed like a very entertaining and fun experience to make. And I do have to give my shout outs to Jurnee, Smollett-Bell, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who are both just incredible in this movie. I loved both of their characters, especially Jurnee's character. You know, she was Black Canary, and she is in the movie a lot more than Mary Elizabeth Winstead is. But, you know, her character is really fleshed out, and she has a lot to do in this movie. And when Mary Elizabeth Winstead shows up, and her character, and this weird character choice that they decided to do, I don't want to give it away. It was something I was not expecting. But when they cut back to her backstory and showed certain things, it was just... it was very, very funny. I loved what they did with her character, and I think some people might think it's weird, but this movie, the entire movie is weird. Just, you know, slip into this tone. You'll get it right from the first 5 minutes of this movie. You'll get exactly what they're going for, and they run with that concept, and they really do just... that's what the movie is, and it's very self-aware. It knows exactly what it wants to be. DC is making its standalone movies in the DCEU itself, so... you know, like Shazam was very standalone, but at the same time it had references to things that happened before. This is a continuation of Suicide Squad, technically, but it has a completely different tone. It feels like it has a different character at this point because of her growth in Suicide Squad and her growth in this one. She was one of the best part, if not the only best, like only good part about Suicide Squad. So I really did enjoy this movie. As of negatives, like I said, some people are going to take this tone and not really like it. There are a lot of plot conveniences in this movie where things are happening, or like... I don't know, the movie's very convenient in terms of its plot. It doesn't have too complicated of a story, but it's told in a complicated way. And Gotham in this movie is very much like Gotham does not care about crime. They're letting people go away. Like, Harley Quinn is a very, very, like, obvious person when she's walking down the street. You know, everybody knows who she is. She's not trying to hide who she is whatsoever. And she's very much wanted, as we saw in Suicide Squad. But she's just kind of walking around and nobody cares that she's free and out and about. And that's how the entire movie kind of deals with the crime in Gotham. Maybe that's just the point. Gotham is a crime-ridden place. But in The Dark Knight, you know, the cops at least tried. They're really trying, but the crime was so intense and the mob was so, you know, overpowering. And this movie doesn't kind of express that as much as The Dark Knight. But why am I comparing this movie to The Dark Knight? It's a fun, entertaining, colorful, and vibrant comic book movie that has some awesome action with an excellent fun cast with some really fun characters, that is directed extremely well by Cathy Yan. I really enjoyed this movie. Go check it out this weekend. I highly recommend it. That is my review for Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. So thanks guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more reviews just like this one. I'll see you all in my next one.